Hello, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live dev stream. It's been some time since I've been here. I guess my name is Sławomir or Sławek. You can see it on the screen right now, and I am, for those of you who don't know who I am, I guess I'm not that famous yet. I guess I'm the guy creating Shardpunk Verminfall, which is the tactical game I am doing, and this is the game that I will be talking about tonight or today. Like it's pretty late here in Poland, so yeah. I'm not alone on the stream. I have my operator with me, Digger. So yeah. So will be he'll be helping me out here and making sure that all the technical stuff is correct. Hello everyone on the chat. I can see the chat on my second monitor here, or on my second PC actually. Yeah, I'll be making sure that I am up to date with this stuff.
I'll be reading questions if there will be any, so you can just focus on presenting what you have prepared for us.
Yeah, I will. I mean, it's been some time since we talked about Shardpunk, and since I showed you anything. So I have lots of stuff prepared and a list of different stuff that I wanted to talk about. So I guess we can just jump into me presenting my screen.
Okay. We see the screen.
Okay, you can see the screen, so you can see basically my Unity project for Shardpunk. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go through some. I'm just gonna start playing the game and just start talking about stuff. Hello, Yellow Crusher. That's a very interesting way to say to say hello. So I'm just gonna maximize it so that you can see more of this stuff. I'm pretty sure that you're able to hear the music from the game, from the combat itself. So you won't be, which is like running in the background. So you won't be hearing the in-game sounds. At least I'm not planning to do so for this stream, but we can work something out maybe for the next ones. We'll see. So. For those of you who don't know, or maybe for people who, even for the people who remember how the game actually looked, this is Shardpunk, or this is the combat phase of the game, and where you can control your characters and an extra character that we'll talk about. And you have different missions that you need to do. But what kind of missions are these, you might ask? So I'm pretty good that you actually asked this question, because if you don't know, like, Shardpunk, lore-wise, is a game about a struggle between the human empire and some giant vermins or giant mutated rats, because that's how I imagined the game to be. And basically you have the capital, which is the capital city of the human empire, which has been under siege for quite a long time. And the game starts when out of the sudden there's a breakthrough in the siege, and the rats somehow manage to get into the city and basically flood the city with themselves, not with the water, like with a rat swarm. And basically your goal was is to escape the city unharmed with the squad or the survivors that you are controlling. What you see on the screen right now is the map of the first chapter of the game, which is about reaching the final location here, which is the bridge located on this side of the map. There's another bridge here, but it is destroyed. And yeah, so your goal is to basically traverse through the city However, there is something more, and that something more thing is or are the new unit types that I've introduced since I've been previously showing you the game, and these are these mechanical guys, or we can call them. I don't want to call them robots, or bots, because it's not very fitting into the vibe of the game, like this semi-Victorian steampunk setting. It's not like a steampunk per se, but still. So I prefer to call them automatons, which is not present in the game because you see it's called support bot. Just bear in mind that what we're playing here is a work in progress version of the game, and that this stuff will be changing. I'll just move this guy around, and I'll show you what this game is about. So basically, I'll just be playing the robots themselves. Are prototype units, and there's only one robot, like physically one robot in the game. And the Synchro mentioned that they look cool, and they do. Assuming that you're talking about the robots, I hope so. And it is actually, like, lore-wise, it is very critical for the Empire to make sure that this robot prototype doesn't get destroyed, or what is worse, gets into enemy hands, because it's using like the latest technology, which basically allows them to power up mechanical units, which is something new. So your goal is to take care of the robot and escort it out of the city, which kind of introduces more depth to the lore of the game. It's not only you need to escape, but also you need to escape because there's a reason, like there's a higher reason for that. And your goal, like in this mission type, is to reach the exit, which is located on the other side of the map, and it is located here. So we need to go through this level, collect resources. You can like see all the resources up here, and well, make sure that you don't die in the process, and that your robot doesn't die in the process. So the good thing is that the robot itself is a unit that can, well, defend itself or even take some offensive actions. It all depends on the robot type that we are actually using. The robot that you can see in the game right now is having a support role, and it has two basic action types, but there are more of them. I'll just go to the character details menu by just clicking here, and you can see all the different skills that this robot can have. By default, it has the support mode and the dynamo boost actions present, but there are other ones that I will show you in just a moment. Like the one of the things that you can see with the robot is that it's actually having a smaller movement range, and I believe it will stay that way. Like it makes the pacing of the game slightly different, because you need, as a player, to take care of the robot. You can't just rush to the exit. I mean, it's most of the cases it's not a good idea to rush to the exit anyway, but given that the robot is not really that fast as other units, you basically need to reduce the pacing, if that's the correct word. On the other hand, the robot has an action which is about boosting its dynamo, and what it does is basically it sacrifices its current movement just to make sure that it is able to move slightly further in the next turn. So I'll just skip the turn. It's not a big improvement But you can see that it can move like 2 tiles, I guess, 2 tiles further, and this is something that you can use over and over again. I mean, the effect doesn't stack, but it's always something that you can use if there's nothing else. There's no other action that you need to use. Hello, Smalbros. Nice to have you on the chat.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
You said that there is only one robot in the game. Is it like only one robot for us in the game, or maybe our enemies might be using robots for themselves as a support unit?
No, the rats are too silly to use robots on their own. No, I mean that's an assumption. Like that's the good thing when you're creating a world, like game world on your own, that you can make up your own rules, and I freaking love it. And also you can make up the rules in a way that they match the they match the gameplay mechanics that you want the game to be, and then you somehow figure out how to tie the game lore to the rules that you came up with. So there will be like one robot type in the game that you are playing as a player, but it doesn't mean that there will be different types of robots. Like when you're starting the game, you'll be having the possibility to choose or pick or choose. I mean, it's the same. Different robot type, and aside from the support bot unit, there are other ones, but they're not in the game yet. But I can show you if I have them. Obviously, I have them prepared here. They are smaller. These are smaller because it's like a GIF, but you can see.
I guess this one is not a support. I see a big gun.
This is something. Yes, this guy is. Well, you can't see the upper part shaking because it's like the movement here animation wasn't finished yet. But you get the idea. This is a bot which will be able to pack some punch, and it's basically an offensive unit, and it will have different modes of attack. And the other one is the floating one, which is basically a healer. It will allow you to use different actions like reviving this is like the just a draft of the revive action that it can do. So if you have any downed units, it will be able to revive them. I mean, you can already do it as a player as using another human character to revive another character, but this robot will allow it doing stuff as well. And also it will be, like you can see here, that it has a red and a blue.
The synchro is asking you if you are creating all the arts by yourself.
Now I've created like 5% of the art by myself, and I'm working with a few freelance artists, freelance pixel artists that create this incredible art for me. I'm just, providing input to make sure that we're like having the stuff that I need for the game. So yeah, that's how I get these gifts as well, and that's why we we have things like this. Like when we are working with a healing robot, one of its features would be that it is somehow boosting the nearby unit by somehow stimulating them, which would give them like extra movement points or more critical chance or whatever, like a general buff. And this was one one of the initial ideas, but it was basically looking like this bot is pissing on the guy, like especially because the fluid is yellow.
It's oil.
I don't know whether I don't know what that is, but we've actually dropped it, and it will be more of a smoke or something, which makes more sense. Maybe you inhale it. You don't have to be like wetted all over with the robot piss or whatever you call it.
I think inhaling is much better. At least it looks better.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not as amusing as this one. Maybe there
Guys,
should
it's a
be
copium.
like a
It's
mod.
copium. As the source of copium in the internet. This drone. Do you know what copium is?
I have no idea.
Okay, this is a long story. In short, it's something. It's a thing that you say when you try to forcefully make you believe in something. For example, I'm good in this game. Yeah, copium.
Ah, I see. All right. So these are like two different robot types that will be in the game. I hate this word robots, and I'm sticking to the automatons, but I keep using robots, but there will be no robots in the game, or machines or something. So I'll just try to move down the squad a little. Where's the here's the third girl. Like, okay, I'm gonna move to the green areas, which are searchable areas, which could give me some loot, and this gave me some stim packs, which, well, surprise, surprise, are used for healing. So we're moving forward, and sooner or later we're gonna run into an enemy pack. That is, if I haven't disabled enemies in this build, but I'm hoping I haven't. So I'm just gonna be a little bolder here and make sure that I move forward a little bit, just to show you the robot in action. So yeah, we're moving on. I'm pretty sure there will be someone around the corner. If not this corner, then the second one. Alright, this guy, Michael. Yep, he's gonna reveal a pack of enemies. Now the enemies have this initial movement phase, and this is something which it's not really making the game, it's not breaking the game or making it less advantageous for the player, because as you can see, the enemies are not, as you will see, the enemies might be plentiful, but there are not many situations in which the character gets wiped off in the first enemy turn. Alright, so where's the well, the bot is slightly behind, but well, let's see what the bot can actually do. We're gonna fall back to the bot just to show you one of its features. Well, Michael's gonna get back as well. We have Michael here, we have Tilly and Mycroft here. What the bot can do actually is it can enter the support mode. What it does, it generates a support area, because, well, it's a support bot, which is like pouring this heavy smoke, and all the friendly units which are in the area are gaining some buffs. So Mycroft is out of action, but Tilly has still 2 action points. And now when I try to shoot this enemy, this is the only one in my line of sight. You can see here in the breakdown of the 2-hit percentages that it is receiving a plus 15% to hit, and this is well, basically the support mode, which is here. Then you can upgrade it to 20 or I don't know, 25% to hit. Like, the downside is that the bot is not able to move while in the stance, but it actually gives you some some bonuses to aim, and also the weapons do not gain hit, because if you remember, or if you don't know, the weapons themselves, they don't run on ammo, like a regular ammo, but they are more energy powered. They do have a heat meter, which is kind of an ammo meter, and it increases as you shoot your weapons, and then you need to cool them down. But if a character is inside the cooling range, let's call it the cooling range or the support mode, they don't have to reload their weapons. So I will take this 59% shot, and 59 is quite big. So yeah, the guy's dead, and we'll see what happens then. Michael has some issues here with some melee rats catching up on him, but hopefully I'll be able to manage. So yeah, now Tilly has shot her shotgun, but her hit did not go up. So that's it. I'm gonna exit the support mode, which is totally counterintuitive, and we'll see how this stuff works. Synchro asks about automatons taking cover. Yes, they are affected by the cover system. As you can see, right now it has no cover because it stands in the open, but I can hide it, and then it will receive a small amount of damage. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go to the cheat mode, which will allow me to increase the or level up this bot, and I will basically unlock other options.
Are you planning to release the cheats for public?
That's a very good question. I mean, the cheats will surely be there all the way to the end of the game, like to the in the development process, because they are extremely helpful, especially during testing.
Obviously.
But maybe they will be hidden in a way. We'll see. Maybe they'll be in a hidden way.
Because I'm seeing every dev is using cheat codes because it's helpful as hell. But I'm always wondering how many games just remove those cheats before releasing, because you can just, I don't know, maybe make that the Steam achievements are unobtainable after using cheats, right? So this is the solution. But some people just prefer just remove it completely. I wonder what's behind this train of thoughts, behind removing those cheats. Is it because you want the player to feel the 100% experience, or maybe you just, I don't know, or maybe is there any other reason?
Yeah, I think when I think of it, is one of the reasons might be that you as a author of the game don't want other people to break it that much. On the other hand, when dealing with games like Project Warlock, like we're talking about boomer shooters or FPSs in general, it's like standard for me that there are some cheat codes available in the game. It also might be that if you introduce cheat codes, you might want to polish them in a way. I'll just show you what I mean. I have the possibility to teleport units around here, and I don't have to have the cheat mode active, even if I am correct. I can simply, press the star button, or no matter what button, and the character will be moved to another place, but as you can see, its movement range haven't changed. And in order to recalculate the movement range, I need to deselect it and select it again, and now it works. So there might be some things with that if you actually plan to leave the cheat modes in, you need to make sure that they don't break the game, like literally break the game in some cases, or make
additional work to include cheats into the game. Yeah, it's easier to remove them, probably.
Yeah, Or like what I did here, you can't see it right now. I've added new skills to this guy by just entering the cheat menu and unlocking the skills. Normally it's not available. It's not possible to unlock new skills while you're still in combat, which then changes the rules completely. And in order to see the new skills here, you need to also unselect or reselect the unit. But now that I've actually selected the unit, I can show you another skill from the support bot, which is the taunt or the intimidate thing. This bot starts doing a lot of noise, which then makes all the enemies in the area, like the area is selected when you're trying to use the action, to focus on the bot itself and not on other units. So I'll try to just move himself here and move this girl here. I'm just doing silly stuff right now, but I want to show it to you. So I'm starting the taunt action, and this robot is starting to, it's making noise. It's not like saying curse words or anything. The animation might imply that this is a thing. And just an explanation here. If we're dealing with these enemy types, their AI is about. Well, I can spoil that. I mean, that would be something that players would figure out pretty quickly, I guess, or some of them already did playing the demo. Because there's a demo available on Steam and on GOG, that the rats with the knives are always focusing on the nearest enemy unit, or the nearest player unit, because, well, in this case the player is the enemy. So Tilly, this girl that I placed right here, is the closest one to these two guys, but because the bot is making noise, the rats should prioritize it. Obviously Michael had some issues here with some rats, so I'll just throw a grenade here just to clear them, and we're done with this one. And I'll just move my aircraft here and try to take a shot. It's not a flanking, well, it's pretty crappy shot. It's 12%, but you know, it did miss. And I will do nothing with Tilly because I just want to leave her here, and I will end the turn, and we'll see whether the yep, as you see that the rats actually were intimidated and they went for the robot. And well, this one is shooting it because it can. Now there's a downside of using the this taunt action, because you don't really want the robot to be killed. And I will just show you why. Because I'm gonna kill it myself. Alright, now when you're killing a robot, it goes into the well, the bleeding phase. Like a regular character can go into the bleeding phase as well. And I will just show it to you. I will just enable the free actions cheat mode, which means that when I move my character, it does not lose any action points, and I can just move around infinitely. And I will just spawn more grenades, and I will kill off this girl as well. And kill, and it should be 2 hits, and yeah, she's bleeding out as well. So obviously the text is different because it's not shutting down, she's shutting down. And you as a player can revive these units. So if you have a steampunk, you can revive a bleeding character. And she's revived, she then has her action points reset, which might be a cool idea to take advantage of. But as you can see, her hit point bar is now orange instead of green, which means that you can see that her hit points actually went to 0, and then she's revived. and she cannot reach the bleeding status again. If I try to deal damage to her again, we'll see what will happen. She just died.
No.
That's a bad thing. But hey, you can loot the corpse, so that's always something. And so the difference between that and the automaton is that you can revive the automaton by using a fusion core, which is one of the core resources in the game. Like, think of it like a large battery, not very large, like a phone or maybe like a can of something. So you can repair it, and then you can actually break it again. I mean, it's not you.
It's green, so
Yeah, exactly. And
without mentioning, you said that you are using different materials to revive different type of units.
Yep.
For humans, it's a steampunk, and for robots, it's a battery.
This is that's the battery thing here. Yes.
So in reality, you have two times of the revives. Because if you run out of steampunks, right, you can just sacrifice your robot all over again and hope you survive the combat before running out of batteries.
That's one way to do it. Yes. The thing with the bot, however, is that and this is something I struggled with for a long time, like game design wise. You can't really allow it to die because it is tied to the game's lore as well. I mean, that's the biggest.
So you will lose the game if you die permanently?
Yeah. If you lose the bot, you will have to restart. Now, I wasn't always. I was never a fan of what do you call it? Well, you need to when you need to.
I don't know.
To escort someone. Yeah, and escort missions. You know.
Escort missions. Okay.
So escort missions were often a pain, especially when you had to escort someone who is not able to withstand too much damage and is generally useless. It's not something that happens here. And as I've played through the game so far, it works pretty well. I mean, it adds some intensity to the game that you need actually to watch out for the bot. Like, people, like humans, are expendable here, but this prototype unit is not. And you can, and that's a good thing, you can repair it in combat or revive it in combat as much as you like. And it also can be upgraded with having the self-repair action, which gives it some basic or more advanced.
I think this is a really good solution because this is the most important unit in the party, and at the same time, it is the best unit to put in the first line in combat. This is like you can get great results by putting your robot in risk, but you might reset the whole scenario. This is great solution, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That was the assumption here, that the robots actually will be pretty useful in the game itself. Like, well, this guy cannot kill enemies. Like, it doesn't have an action that allows you to directly deal damage. But it has the other thing that I haven't shown is the nerve gas grenade. But I need more enemies. I'm just gonna spawn some melee rats. So you can use the grenade, which comes with the range, and you can upgrade it as well. I can't remember how I can upgrade it. Oh, I reduced the cooldown basically, so you can use it more often. And this is actually a game changer because it spams a grenade which then stuns the enemy. And the stun indicators here, I'm planning to change them so that they actually appear on the on the ground. That's in the story. Like these three enemies, which has this down arrow, they will not move, and well, they won't take any actions on the next turn. So you this bot introduces some kind of crowd control that you can use to your advantage. So right now this rat who's already dead, and the other rat which is here. Oh, there are two of them. Oh, I have infinite action, so I don't have to worry. These were the only ones that you have to worry about. Or I'm just gonna kill off some enemies and see whether the stunned ones are actually stunned. Yep, they skipped their turn, and only the other rats moved. Now the cheat code for infinite actions obviously only affects player units, so the enemies are still playing by the rules, and you don't have to. So yeah, the Automatons. What else has been? I mean, the sole introduction of the Automatons have changed that much of the rest of the game. That was one of the situations when I realized that introducing one thing to the game actually allows you to introduce a whole set of changes to the rest. So I'll show you why in just a moment. But first, how to level these guys up. I mean, every character, like human character, is able to level up when a mission is completed. When you reach the exit, open the exit and evacuate through the exit, your characters get some HP, XP bonus, and the more rats they've killed, the more XP they can get. Bots do not level in this way. They level by visiting special points on the map. Now the maps are randomly generated, or semi-randomly generated, because they're stitched from predefined fragments. But I'll just take a look at the map whether there is a bot upgrade point here, and if there's not one present, it might be because I've disabled it. I can't see it. It should be indicated like here. You can see a blue indicator which gives you indication that there's something interesting and different here. This is a supply crate which can have some weapon upgrade points and stuff like that. These here are special medical supplies which are present on this map, but there is no bot upgrade point. I just need to see whether the bot upgrade point should be there, but I mean the game actually allows it, but it hasn't spawned on this level.
This RNG thing?
This is random, but the good thing is that I don't have the how do you call it, the graphics for it finalized, so maybe it's better that you actually can't see it. The point is that a bot needs to reach a certain point at a level and then perform the upgrade action. So it might be that you need to spend some time just reaching a place that you didn't plan to reach initially. But then because bots' skills are so powerful, you might want to take a detour and make sure that you do upgrade them.
Another question.
Syntro,
yeah.
Yep, I see it. How will you recruit new soldiers? There's no recruitment, like no direct recruitment thing, but you can find new soldiers on the battlefield, and that is something that is one of the features that I did implement, and I will hopefully be able to talk about it tonight. We'll see how it goes. But basically, you can find soldiers in a wounded state, where you can revive, and then they join your cause.
This is basically a thing like save me and I'll join you thing, right?
Yeah. It's like rescuing new survivors. Like soldier is a. Are they soldiers? I mean, all of them are pretty good with weapons. Some of them even have. Oh, I did want to show you Tilly's sword, but she's dead. So, not in this playthrough.
They are civilians just in brutal world.
Yeah, like this brutal world is is more about that. You can see the posters, like this empire's propaganda posters, which actually like this one. The human empire is pretty
in ruins.
Sorry?
In ruins? They're gone, or they
just
moved out from specific locations.
They sometimes they do, but they basically the empire does not tolerate rats in any shape or form. So that's why there's a very heavy propaganda on making sure that you kill every rat on sight. I'm not sure who's right, like correct in the grand scheme of things, whether the rats are the good guys or the empire are the good guys. But you're playing as the empire, so we can assume that for now, before like the game lores or the universe's lore expands, we are the good guys here. So the empire is the good guys, even though the empire gives you like an evil empire vibes if you are into Star Wars or something. But let's ignore that and let's assume that we are the good guys here. There's a lot of enemies here, and I've spawned most of them. But
I have a question about the upgrading of the skills for the robot. You said because normally we have experience, we got full bar of experience, we got level, right? But if we have a station, how, for example, I want to get 2 upgrades. Will I be able to get 2 upgrades, or am I able to get 1 upgrade per 1 station, or how it will the upgrading of the robot look like?
It will be 1 upgrade per station. For a can I say at least 1 station per level? Not really, because you can't see an upgrade station here. But I believe there will be an upgrade station, at least 1 in the level, and this could vary, because the levels, besides being randomized in the way that they're set up, where the cover is how the rooms are located and stuff like that, what's also randomized is some other conditions that are happening on the level, and I want to talk about it in a while as well. So it might be that you will be able to choose a location as your next mission, which will provide more than 1 upgrade station for the robot, but it will always come with a price. So if there's some advantage, that there will be some disadvantage as well. Like maybe there will be more enemies, or maybe the level will be longer. Like this level is of a standard length. It's about 60 tiles wide, as I remember. So yeah, but there might be longer ones as well.
So since the robot is really strong, if you will get, for example, 2 stations on the map, will the next zone be even harder if you will get 2 stations? Because the next, let's assume that we beat the zone with 2 upgrade stations. It was harder, okay, but how will the next zone look like? Since we already obtained the upgrade, we are good, our team survived, and we are going to the next area with really strong robot.
Yeah, that's a question of managing the difficulty curve of the game. And the same could be said that what if you, like me in this playthrough, lose the one of the soldiers? You basically lost 1/3 of your squad, not including the robot. And should it then be in a way that the next mission will simply be harder for you because you have less firepower, or maybe the game should adapt in a way. And the thing is that the game will adapt in the difficulty, just to make sure that you as a player will not be thinking that, oh, all right, I've lost one person of the squad, so right now I might pretty well restart the game because I have no chances in beating it, except for like people who like challenges, or maybe they want to do this single soldier challenge or whatever. So there will be like a small wiggle space in the game's difficulty, and this is something that actually came up with when we were discussing this difficulty thing on our Discord chat with some people, that it makes sense to slightly reduce or increase the difficulty of the game based on the number of characters that you have. But it won't be like a linear progression. It will be that if you lose 1/3 of your squad, like there will be 1/3 less enemies present. The game still will be more difficult if you lose one person, but it will not be that difficult that the only options that we'll have is to restart the game, because it wouldn't be fun, and the game is all about fun.
Yep.
All the games should be all about fun. So yeah. Does it also mean that it should work the other way around? That's a very good question. Like you mentioned about the bot getting too powerful. I mean, I like at least sometimes when when me as a character gets slightly overpowered for a shorter period, because it then gives me it gives me some nicer vibes that I'm actually ruling the game. for
I love it
like
as well.
for just, you know, oh, they rode to the bot again.
Oh no, is that?
Not yet, but I'll shoot the game again. So yeah, I like the moments that you are slightly overpowered, but that the game needs to keep up. Obviously, it's hard to balance the difficulty, especially when you're a single developer making and designing the game. But I think that if you, as a player, decide to choose a level which gives you double the upgrades for a bot, and you manage to do it, you might as well be rewarded for doing it by by the fact that the game will be slightly easier for you. On the other hand, as I mentioned, if there will be a level which has double upgrades, there will be
Potential risk.
something. Yeah, there will be a bigger risk there. It might be that there will be more enemies present in the area, so you might as well lose one of your soldiers in the process. So yeah, will that be evened up? We'll see. So I will not be able to reach the bot on time, or maybe I will be. Let's try to reach it on time. I will try to revive it, and I will try to just rush to it, and I will be showing you the bunker thing. I think with that many rats appearing is that I was pretty careless in this playthrough with my grenades, and I was using the grenades a lot, too often, especially because I was cheating the game, so I was having more action points that I should. Like another thing with leaving the cheats in the game, right? Then you break the game in this way. Alright, but Michael is pretty much out of his hit points, so we'll just heal him up using the another cheat option. And let's move here. Let's set up Overwatch. And I'm just gonna teleport this one. We're setting up Overwatch here, only 2 Overwatch shots. And it missed like 70% shot and it missed because
The pain.
the enemies are closing in. I'm just gonna hold the Alt button to fast forward them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it basically speeds up the movement. It's something that I liked a lot in Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, no, the Mutant Year Zero, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's nothing like
I was
this.
just, what? There was a speed button?
No, it wasn't. But I like both of these games. So, yeah, actually finished Horizon.
There's going to be release for Forbidden West.
There will be a second time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Shit. Okay, so I did want to save the bot, but Microt, he actually panicked. His panic meter went up, so then he lost it, and he's out for one turn. The good thing is that his panic meter went down. Well, one of the reasons the panic meter went down is because the I've killed the other girl, so when you lose a squad mate, then the stress actually goes up a lot. Synchro is talking about the second part of the shop. Yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure I will be able to call it Zero Dawn, but yeah, I love the idea. And yeah, Onyx Games is here with us for some time. Sorry, Martin. Hello, nice to have you here. So Microsoft has panicked and I can do nothing about it, so I'm cheating again. And I'm repairing the bot just to show you the last thing here. So let's just skip the fact that there are some rats attacking us and let's go here to the exit. So this is the exit. This is the place that you need to reach when you're if you want to finish the level. And this is something kind of new, because in the we can like separate the game design into two different stages. It is the stage before the automatons and after the automatons have been introduced. The previous demo which is available is still before the automatons. Like now we are in the automatons era, and this introduced a lot of interesting stuff. The bunker door, which is here, I'm just gonna enable free actions because I want to have some to move my units around. The bunker door need to be opened by using a fusion core, and this guy does not have any fusion core. Its fusion cores count is 0. But well, it doesn't matter because I can always add some fusion cores. The thing is that you need to have a fusion core to exit the level. Sometimes you won't have any fusion cores because, well, it's only an inventory item. You might lose it. I mean, your carrier of fusion cores might get killed, or you might use the fusion core to something different, and then you will have no ways to open up the bunker, which means you will have no way to finish the level, which is a pretty shitty situation which I needed to avoid. And in the previous era, the pre-automaton era, I introduced an alternate route for the player to escape the city, escape the level. So next to the bunker entrance, there was always an evacuation area which you could use, and it would not cost you anything, and then you could just like exit the level, but you were not entering a shelter, which means that you had no shelter phase, which is about resting, upgrading your weapons and stuff like that, which was kind of punishing for the player, but it also made sense because, well, you used all your fusion cores, or maybe, well, you were unlucky and you didn't find any, so you were not able to go into the shelter. But it was too punishing also because, for instance, like these characters have I just went into the character details. They have weapons, and these weapons are upgradable. Like, well, Michael has, but these are fresh characters, so their weapons are not actually, they're not upgraded yet. But any weapon modification thing is only available when we're in the shelter phase, and if the player does not reach the shelter phase, they cannot do it. So there's basically no reward for skipping the shelter phase, and the punishment was too big. And then I introduced the automatons, which I'm just gonna move them around, and I'll move my automaton here. So I've decided, well, it even makes sense in the lore of the game. Automatons are wielding a very powerful energy sources, like the prototype energy source, the biggest one, which could change the course of the war that the Empire is waging against the vermin.
Is this the reason why the drone is so important?
That's it. That's it. Like that's why we as humans are forced to. I mean, we need to prevent this weapon to, first of all, to fall into enemy hands, but also it needs to be evacuated safely from the city. Now, to make sure that it actually makes sense, like in a logical way, this energy source or reactor or whatever you call it is too heavy to be carried on its own. So you can't just destroy the boat, scrap it up, and just carry the energy source because it's too heavy. So it needs to be in a energy powered machine, which could be like this boat or the combat boat that I shown you, or the floating boat, which you've seen as well. And because this energy source is pretty powerful, you can use it to force open locks. And that's why.
So that means that our lovely drone companion, will have to sacrifice himself on the end.
On the end, well, I didn't tell you that, and that's one of the probable finishers of the game. Like we're still in chapter 1 here. Like chapter 3 is about finding the escape route, the last and only escape route from the city. But one of the possible outcomes of it is that by using the energy source of the automaton, the player will be able to get rid of all the vermin in the capital, along with everyone else in the capital, I think, and temporarily stop the rat progress. So yeah, weapon of mass destruction, but it can also be used to unlock doors. So like multi-purpose tool. Onyx mentions that the automatons might lead to another war against machines. Is it more that the automatons will be the bad guys, or we'll be able to...
Because humans will notice that the automatons are so dangerous because their the power source can kill the whole city, and they will want to destroy the automatons because they are afraid of this.
Especially because automatons themselves might be sentient or like self-aware, or maybe they are already. It's difficult to tell because you as a player control the units, you control the humans obviously, and you also control the bot. So you're like the
overmind, but you still are as a spectator. It's the story, but you're not writing the story, just reliving the story. So you in the end don't know if the robot is sensual. Oh my god.
Self-aware.
Self-aware. Yeah. So that's still the question.
Yeah, the question is, if I order the bot to move down here, is it because it decided to, or like lore-wise, it's more of the other characters telling it commands that it should move here and open the door and things like that? It's an open-ended question, I guess. I have lots of ideas on or at least two, lots, at least two ideas on my next games. But hey, still, I need to finish this one,
Finish this
and
one.
it will.
Please let me finish this one.
Yeah, I do. The thing is that I've introduced the action that allows the bot to force open the door. It will cause an action. You won't see it here because the animation is not present, but what it will do is it will force open the lock. So the doors will be open, not instantly. It will be in 5 turns, but so it could be an issue. But still, you as a player will always have the possibility to exit the level using a bunker. So I was able to remove the alternate exit route. Oh, they hurt this guy because he was panicked. I thought that he was bleeding out already, so doesn't matter. We just leave him behind. We just leave him behind.
There's
or
a
maybe
question. How long have you been working on this game?
how long? So it started like, I guess, more than 3 years ago, and then I was only working on the game maximum. It was a hobby project, so I was working 2 hours per week, in the mornings or in the evenings, next to my day job, and it took me like 2 years to create some demo. And after I found Retrovibe, my publisher, or they found me, I was able to transition to full-time development since January last year. So it's more year of full-time development right now. Like the development, like comparison between the development speed, is incredible. So the game right now is more than 1 year of full-time development and 2 years of pretty low quality part-time development. So yeah, but I love the job, especially when I'm working full-time on this one. Okay, I want to go into the shelter, but I don't really want to wait for 5 turns because I've cheated the game enough. We'll cheat it even more. There's a win button here, which wins the game.
Yay!
I mean, it wins the mission. The dialogue that you can see right here is I call it the lore dialogue, which will be reinforced by visual stuff like graphics. But right now we're just moving here to the summary. And Michael has reached a new level, so we can increase one skill, and the bot did not. You can see here in the summary that we just gained 51 weapon parts, which is not true. This is because the debug version of the game gives us lots of weapon parts, just to make sure that I'm able to tinker with the weapons here. So yeah, this is the shelter phase, and we've only reached it with one soldier, with one survivor, and the bot, which basically went into some standby mode.
Sleeping mode. It's sleeping. It's
Yeah.
resting.
Is. And what's going on here is one of the things that you can do is you can upgrade your weapon by installing a modification. Installing modifications take or cost the weapon upgrade parts that you can see here. That these are the items here. You can normally find them in special loot crates and during the combat. Don't worry, it's not like a paid feature. Like whenever someone talks about loot crates or boxes, it might sound shady, but worry not. Electronic Arts is not publishing this one. So there are different yeah, there are different modification types, and they also depend on the weapon type. Here we have a revolver, so we can increase the damage, let's say and also it changes the visual of the weapon. So the visual is pretty cool here. We can add a stun module, which gives you a chance of stunning enemies. Like, we can do a lot of stuff here because I have basically too large number of the weapon parts for the debug purposes. But you can change the look of the weapon pretty nicely. So that's how the level 10 revolver looks like. It's level 10 because it started on level 1, and then we've added like nine different modifications here. So the weapon modification would not be possible if we would not enter the shelter. But right now there's no way of skipping the shelter phase, which is good because the player has the possibility to have this like wind down or lay low phase between missions, which is always a good thing. And they can also spend or use some actions here to maybe find some extra loot on the shelves, or hear the bot as well, and do other stuff like reduce their stress level. Like this guy's stress level is pretty high. So yeah, I was only able to perform 3 actions. Now there are no actions here. The action points pool in the shelter is shared or distributed between all the human characters. There's only 1 human character here because I killed off, or maybe the rats killed some of them. So there's not many of them. So you can perform the actions. And now, if you go to the food distribution phase, it looks kind of different than in the previous demo. Well, you can't see it from the previous demo, but the thing is that it was like a very difficult thing to handle in the game, and maybe for the player as well, because the food distribution phase was always there between missions, even if the player did not enter a shelter, because otherwise it would be kind of too easy and maybe not logical that the characters don't need to eat between missions if they didn't reach a shelter. On the other hand, I then have to make sure that the food distribution phase UI is able to work if you're in the shelter and if you're not in the shelter between missions. Like the automatons, introduction of automatons simplified all this stuff. And right now, there's always a shelter phase present. So the food distribution phase and its UI, as you can see it on the screen right now, I was able to embed it into the shelter phase, so you can still see the characters resting, and you can see the food distribution thing. And you can basically select all the characters that should receive food. We have plenty of food here, so plenty. It's 9. So we won't have to worry about starvation. If a character does not get food, they will receive -1 HP, which can get them killed. But I'll just hit this guy, and we're in the map selection phase. So that was the automaton thing. The automatons don't have any weapons; they only have the skills. They don't have the stress level, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do need to make sure that they don't die, because otherwise, you would be in trouble. Well, the game will end. But they did allow me to introduce some or simplify some of the game mechanics, but not to dumb them down, but maybe remove some loose ends in the end. So that was the biggest game changer, literally game changer, the automatons. But that's not the only thing that I wanted to talk about. So it took us an hour to talk about this, and now I'm just looking at my notes. We did talk about the visualization of the feeding phase, but
I think we are on point 4, I think. I don't know if you told everything about point 3.
Not sure, because I have
I
only
don't
bullet
remember
points on my side.
3B from what you sent me.
Just spoil it. Just tell the name.
Showcase how the poison throwing enemy works.
Exactly.
That was a stun, I think. You showed stun. Did you show a
Exactly.
poison? I don't
No,
remember.
I'm just gonna show it right now. But I want to change some characters. So maybe we'll just swap some of them around. And
About stunning as well. If the stun will have reduced cooldown with leveling up, will that mean that we basically can stun lock a group of people, enemies forever, or that's not how high the cooldown reduction will work?
we'll just see. I'm pretty sure it's not possible to reduce it that much, like reduce the cooldown. But if it's 2 turns, so you'll have at least to wait 1 turn, and because the stun duration is always 1 turn, there will be no stun locking here. Alright, I've generated a new level, and what I did is I changed the level type as well. So we're interior right now. And yeah, let's talk poison, because I've shown you the stun thing, but it's also a poison mechanism that I've introduced to the game. You as a player cannot poison rats, because like they're the ones breathing poison, but I do need to spawn a poison spitting rat, and I am not sure which button does that, so we'll just try. Oh, first try, and we have this guy. All right, let's see how this guy looks. Works like. So, oh, he's already, getting to business. Let's maximize it more. So what this guy does is it spits the poison cloud, which, well, you don't really want to go through. Well, so you can if you're a bot.
So it harms humans as well, not only rats. It's double-edged sword. I wouldn't use that. No, I don't like those abilities like that. I always die to spells I cast on my own.
Yeah, like the only way to actually to spawn the only the enemies will be able to spawn these poison clouds. So
I thought it's a robot that made that poison. Okay.
No, it was this guy. It was the guy building the poisonous barrel thing. So that's a good thing. Robots can go freely through it. Rats can go freely through it, because the rats are also immune to that. But as soon as you go through that, you will get poisoned. And again, that was we had a long discussion about how to display the poison indicator. Right now it's like this green skull here, but I'm in the middle of changing some graphical stuff, including some UI stuff. I mean, there's already lots of visual changes here present between like the previous demo on this version of the game, but I'm pretty sure I will change the way this indicator is being displayed. Initially I thought that I will be just flashing the whole tile where the poisoned unit is located green, but then the green color is already used for the loot locations.
For poisons, purple is really often used. So,
yeah, maybe it should be purple.
But the thing with the purple, the poison itself is green, so
the poison is green, and the purple color is used for the stress meter. So it's we'll see. But like the thing is that I am
Mustard
constantly
gas.
catching myself on thinking about all the details, and then I get involved into details, and I'm not focusing on finishing the game. Um, I don't know whether it's a mustard gas. It's a very nasty gas. It's a rat gas generated by. I don't know how they obtain it. It's an open thing, I guess.
It's open for discussion. Okay, I'm voting for rat farts. Okay.
Yeah, I thought so. I think it's farce. So, what happened is when a character is poisoned, they are receiving a 1 hit point damage each turn for a total of 2 turns. I believe that if I go to Lily's details and I go to her traits, you can actually see that, yeah, she basically has the poisoned trait on her right now. And if I try to get rid of this plague bearer, I won't be able to. And what will happen right now is that the plague bearer unit, it doesn't only have this mortar like poison attack, but it's I'm just reading the chat and I can't. I mean, yes, it's like Synchro mentioned, it's a musrat. It's a musrat's gas. It's like a mustard gas, but you just need to swap the letters to make sure that the rat word is included. That's I'm pretty sure. I'm just considering, I'm considering of actually using this name in the game as well. We'll see. So the mustard gas wielder is able to stab you with his green freaking knife. So it's not a good idea to actually end your turn next to it. It might seem that this is a small fella, but it can actually hurt you. But then you can hurt him back. And you're done. So there's a lot of more of them, and how they their attack patterns are defined in a way that they rarely be spitting poison right on top of your units, just to make sure that you as a player, and me as a player, because I play the game a lot, don't get too frustrated by by the fact that I have encountered a rat spitting gas, and if I don't kill it in immediately, I will always it will always deal me damage, because if it spills the poison on me, well, I'll have to deal with the poison damage, which will be at least 2 hit points. Because 1 hit point per turn. Of course, you can heal it.
Is there a maximum, because enemies are randomly generated, right? So is there maximum amount of those poison rats that can generate? Because if you will get unlucky and we will get, for example, 5 of them, where we'll be able to stand? It might be a problem.
I mean, there's a maximum number of enemies in the game, which right now is set up a 40 enemies cap, but it does not mention specific enemy type.
So but basically, this is possible to get a lot of those guys.
Well, yes and no, because there's something else. There's the enemy pods that get generated are not totally random as well. There's a set of different enemy combinations that can appear, and in general, the poisonous rats are appearing pretty rarely and in smaller numbers, just to make sure that you don't get the situation that you are talking about, that there's a lot of poison clouds in the area, because as you can see that their main job is to make sure that they you see, yeah, it just
there's
went
no
to
space to move actually.
yeah, it forces you to rethink your strategy, because your only route might be taken.
Are they closing all the roads, or like leaving one road for you to take?
They're spitting the poison around your in the nearest vicinity of your soldiers, but they tend not to hit them directly, and that's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. So basically, the specific spot is random. It's not like they're trying to connect the clouds or something. It's just random.
It's just something that happened here.
Okay.
Let's see whether I'm able to actually heal this girl.
Will we have flame tower thrower rats? Ooh. Gas and flame.
That could be a cool combination. I'm not planning for. I'm playing introducing a fire mechanics in the game. There will be rats who are wielding, like we're talking elite rat units with lightning bolt generators. So that's like the other element that I've used in the game. You can actually use a lightning bolt generator already, but I can't do it this turn because I've run out of actions. I can say that the equivalent of a flamethrower rats are basically the rats that you can see on the screen right now. Because if we take flamethrower units in, let's say, XCOM 2, or maybe only if it was maybe only present in the War of the Chosen expansion, I can't remember. They were basically, yeah, I'm pretty positive on that. The flamethrower units were not really damage dealers, but they were also an annoyance because they were just lighting them up on fire, and they were just making sure that they were making your life more difficult because the fire was blocking your paths. And the other thing is that the fire also could spread on things, and yeah, so like, well, the poison is spreading on its own, but it is serving us this annoyance. Let's move here, and let's use the how do you use the lightning bolt thrower? The fusion cores. The fusion cores, who are the the keys that you can use to open up the bunker door, or to revive the your downed robot if it's broken. You can also use fusion cores to kill off large rat crowd. I'm just spawned more of them because why not? And you can use your fusion core as a lightning bolt thrower. So it will obviously use the fusion core, but it will pack a large punch, and yeah, basically it killed almost everyone in this pack. So the fusion cores can also be used like this last resort weapons, but it also comes with a price, because then you don't have a fusion core to open up the bunker with, so you need to use your robot to do this. Yeah, let's kill the
I will not be able to revive the robot.
Yeah, and then you
the same currency.
Yeah, so you might, maybe one of the robots should have the auto revive option or something like that, but it's a matter of balancing the game. So this is the poison thing. Let's kill off the other guy. but I actually can't again. The poison lasts like for 2 or 3 the poison clouds turns, and then it goes away on its own. So the poison rats cannot attack. Well, they do. They can attack with their knife. Now let's see here. Like Anne, this girl here, she is still poisoned. She has only 1 HP left. Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I wanted to show it as well. So she was at 1 HP and she was poisoned, so she she took a 1 HP hit, and then she moved to the bleeding phase. So in some of the games, when we're dealing with poison, it's not actually possible to kill someone off, and I was thinking about this as well initially. That, you know, if you're poisoned, your HP can get as lower as 1 HP, and then you're just poisoned, and maybe you have some other negative effect, like some penalty to your aim or something. I just decided that it won't be the case, so your HP can go all the way to 0, just to make sure that your units are not poison resistant if they're on 1 HP, because then it wouldn't be able to go to 0. But I'm pretty. We won't be able to see it right now. If you're bleeding out, then the poison does not affect you. So it's not basically not possible to reproduce it here. If there would be a poisonous rat here and it would hit its poison cloud into this girl who is bleeding out, she will not be affected by it. Or maybe if she was well, you can see it here. She was poisoned, but as soon as she started bleeding out, she is not poisoned anymore. So that you have the these 4 turns to revive her. Of course, as soon as she receives any damage, she'll be gone instantly. But then regular rats, like these ones, will ignore bleeding enemies and move to other ones, because I just wanted to make sure that the game is not bullshitting the player into being too difficult here. But if you as a player, I can't. I can do something else. If you as a player use an area of effect action which deals damage, then you can kill someone who's bleeding out. So I'm using a fusion core on our bleeding girl, and she's out. Everybody gains stress, and everybody's like, everything went to shit. So I'm breaking the game or ruining the experience by killing my own kind. But that is the poison mechanics then, and I can actually see that the way this combat mission has been set up can move us smoothly to the next thing that is in the game, which are the different types of I've called it map mutators, which are like map enhancements or combat enhancements. So I did mention that every map is combined from different predefined pieces that I created manually, and then only dilute some visual stuff. The enemy placement is kind of randomized, but also every combat mission has its own set of higher rules, let's say, which can change how the combat works. And right now I can see that when I pick my characters, I can see that the grenade icon, the grenade action icon, is disabled. And this is because this particular location has something that has been rolled randomly a weak foundations perk or trait, or however you call it, which prevents using explosives during this combat. And if I go to the map view, which you can also invoke from the combat, yeah, I've called it traits in the official translation. This particular location has two traits, which are the weak foundations, which makes their grenades unusable, and it also, like the second one is a positive one. It gives you less enemies to worry about. So there are different mutators present at different locations. Like this one here has only one, a positive one. You'll be able to find some more medical supplies. So when you're picking your next objective, you always have a choice of at least two different locations for your next mission. You'll be able to assess and take a look at the traits and maybe adjust your strategy. Like the sewer level will have the bossier vermin thing, which means that there will be more enemies, or maybe not more, but deadlier enemies present here, but also you'll be able to find some medical supplies. So here it has only medical supplies, so I guess it's a no-brainer, but maybe not really, because if we have a deadlier enemies here, you can find better loot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Is it rewarding in that situation to pick a dangerous option, more dangerous option?
Yeah, it might be that it will have to be more, the game should be more explicit here about it, but because otherwise the player would just take the first one.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So yeah, this one does not have any traits, but like the rule of thumb will be that there will always be some traits defined for everything. So these are only empty for debugging purposes.
So we will be able to plan the road ahead of time, because we will see all the benefits on the road, right? It's not like...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think that there will be no fog of war here. It might be that sometimes it will be like counterintuitive, or maybe not really logical, that you can know about a certain or specific location trait, because some of them, I'm just going to show it to you. I'm going to make sure that we play on the industrial map, and let's clear all the mutators and add only something that I want to show you, like the rain. One of the mutators is rain, so it's like about the weather. And you don't really know what the weather will be when you reach like the last before one location, but maybe the player should, just be aware of all the mutators. So yeah, so this is the rain thing. Some of the mutators are only limited to certain level types, because there are two different level types, the one that are outdoors and the one that are indoor. So if there's a level which is completely like in the sewers or in a factory, then the rain mutator would not make sense then.
The roof is leaking.
Yeah, maybe the roof would be leaking, but yeah. Let's say now, right now I've just the rain is everywhere because I've just overrated it, except for the ones that are empty by default, by debug purposes. The rain itself, it makes the using grenades more risky, because there is a chance that the grenade will actually malfunction, and
yeah, a lot of them have malfunctions. Yep.
Well, this one just did.
Oh yeah.
And when it actually malfunctions, it does not deal any damage, and it does
That's
stun the
painful.
enemies. So it's not like you are. I'm just gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? Grenade. Malfunction probability is now 25. No, it's 100%. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for having access to the source code. I just have to remember to change it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, you can actually look for double slash, so you will be able to find all the things you've changed.
And right now, if you have an enemy here and you really want to build up, you actually can't, because yeah, the grenade did not work. But still the enemy is stunned, so they won't act for the next turn. So that's one thing. Let's roll it back again already. And the other thing, which is also about rain, is it Iron Storm? Yes, it is. Also, it's only available on outdoor locations. It also has the rain effect. I mean, in a way that it's raining. I'm not sure whether the grenade malfunction rates kicks in here or not. But the thing is that it adds another annoyance, which are the lightning bolts. So every turn there's a chance that there will be some lightning bolts hitting from the sky. And well, you have full information about where these bolts will strike. Because without it, it would be just simply too frustrating. I know that it sounds wrong that the player somehow is able to predict where they will hit, but still, without it, it would be too much. The lightning bolts are attacking in this 2x2 square area. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have been that will strike in the next turn. If you zoom out, you can see that there's nothing going on in the areas that your characters are not around, and there will be nothing happening indoor, because there are some indoor locations here. And what will happen after it strikes? It will basically do damage. Oh god, there are some rats here.
Will rats avoid those red zones? Or
no, they won't. Of course they won't, because they're so silly. We have a certain issue here. I'll just show it to you. Yeah. Of course they did avoid it, right? But it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, they were just chasing. They were chasing kills.
Yeah, and what happened here is like my character started bleeding out. So the damage actually was pretty big. Can't remember what the damage is, but it is pretty big. So it would make sense for you as a player to make sure that the rats are actually in the red areas. The thing is that you don't really have a system for all that. Well, you can intimidate, right? If you have an intimidate action, and you can try it. Let's use this one, and we can try to position our rat. Oh, I don't really need to use the intimidate, but I won't be able to make it, so I'll just teleport this guy here, or maybe even here, and then if I finish the turn, all the rats will gather around. So there might be some situations in which you might take,
this situation
advantage.
is actually perfect.
Yeah. On the other hand, you're using your bot.
Yeah, and you have to get there because we use the teleport. It will be hard to go to the rats behind them and in the good position. almost impossible.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other thing is that you don't really know. You can see how where the lightnings will hit, but you don't know where the rats will finish their movement. Synchro is asking about Automatons being immune to lightning. I don't think so. Let's see then. Let's place it here. Like, and this girl who's bleeding out, she will get killed. Of course. Let's try to kill the other ones off. This guy, Michael, he's having a revolver. Like revolvers as weapons have this special ability that you can use them twice in a turn, so you can shoot and then move, or move and then shoot, or shoot and then shoot. Like, it's not happening with heavy weapons and with shotguns. So as soon as Anne takes her shot, it was a very, very lucky critical shot. She lost the ability to move, but yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure that the automaton will be dead. Yep. So there's your answer, Synchro. You should be avoiding it. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It might be that it could. Everything could make sense. We could make sure that it's getting over, or like maybe it's getting powered up when it's being hit by the lightning. But I guess we'll just leave it as it is. And now I need to repair it. So this is how the lightning storm looks like. So it's a mild annoyance, but it can also mess up your strategy. So that's one of the things I also like. Oh, I know is here. Hello, I know. Nice to have you. Like the thing that I like with with games of this type is that you might have your you already imagine how you're gonna go through the fight, because you see the enemies and you have some ideas on how to approach it, and then something random happens. I'm not talking about you're missing a shot or something, because that's something that you can also you should be taking into account and maybe minimize, but minimize the risk of it happening. But there could be different things like poison clouds appearing, or these lightning strikes, which will cut off parts of the map for you or restrict you from some movements, and then you need to improvise. And this is something that makes the game even more fun. But there's a thin line here that you need to be aware of, that you don't really want the game to become frustrating. So like this thin line between frustration and fun is it's a different thing, a difficult thing to manage, and the only way to deal with this, I guess, is to do trial and error and see what's fun and what's not fun anymore. But the red indicators and the lightning bolts are pretty interesting annoyance. What's is there another one that I can show you? The posterior enemies, less enemies, more loot, longer distance thing. Yeah, the rain is actually looking pretty good, as Onyx mentioned. And yeah, there's no rain here. What's here? It's longer distance. Where is it? The view map thing is here, and longer distance is here. It will take more time to reach the exit. That's the description of it. Is it true? I mean, the real description is that the exit is further away, but it kind of makes sense, because if it's further away, it will take you more time to reach it, I guess. So yeah. So where is it? So this map is actually a lot longer than the other ones. It's made up of, let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 segments instead of 3 segments. So you need to be prepared for a longer fight here. Now, it might be that the fights in Shardpunk are like the combat phases are always having a very similar, interesting pacing, being that initially it's pretty quiet, but as you progress down the map and then you start attracting more enemies, and then you might have a more and more difficult time to hold your position.
Are they
But then
calling for the backup, or you just pull a pack and that's it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when you as you spend more time on the map, the frequency of the enemies showing up increases. So there are some packs present on the map, as you might see it right now. Like we've just triggered one of the enemy pods. But then there are places on the map, like open places, like this way here, or this way here, or I don't know, maybe this pathway here, which will generate more enemies that will be pouring in the map. Yeah, that's basically answered Anna's question. Some of them are spawned on the map, but then as you go through, there will be more and more of them appearing, respecting the limit that I showed before. It's like right now it's about it's 40 enemies maximum, but still dealing with 40 enemies at once it's too much.
But it's 40 enemies that are generated on the map, not the one that will come from the backup, right? So we can go above the cap of the 40.
Luckily, no. That's the total number of
the
enemies.
Total number. Okay.
I'm just yeah. This is like the difficulty thing. When I'm playing the game, I find it like mildly difficult, and every time I release a new demo, like the one of the major reception is that the game is freaking difficult, and I obviously I can't see it because I know the patterns, I know how the game plays, and that's why I find it not very difficult. So the amount of enemy pods that get spawned initially on the map has been reduced. It might be that there's only maybe one enemy pod appearing, maybe two of them. But maybe, well, this is a longer map, so there might be more of them. And then I just realized that the number of the enemies that spawn initially is not a big issue, because it might be these two pods that I mentioned about. You'll be able to clear them pretty easily. The problem is that as you progress, there will be more and more of them coming, and not asking that they could be farmed.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean,
to the certain level, to the cap, right? But if you let them come indefinitely, you get more experience that will make the game again too easy. So this will be also a problem.
You won't. I took care of that. You will not be able to get too much experience. So like you won't be able to level up too much, but you'll be able to gain more loot, and that's something
items.
that yeah.
Goodies.
Yeah, the thing about items is that they can be obtained in two ways. One of them is to reach the green area, like the searchable areas, which could be like a body or some shelves, crates, or these blue ones, which are just special ones, like medical supplies. You'll find more stuff here, and if it's medical supplies, you will have access to steampunks or yeah, just medical stuff. Especially this farming thing makes sense because, as I mentioned, the weapons are not having ammo, so you will not be wasting your ammo or trading ammo for goodies. You just need to cool the weapon down. Like this guy here, Michael, you can see that it has a... I'm not sure whether it can be seen. The weapon has a red dot, so it means that it needs to be cooled down. Yeah, because, yeah, basically, if you shoot it right now, it will cause some issues for you. But you can't because he's rather out of actions. So it is a viable strategy if you really want to stay longer, because as I mentioned, the green built-in areas are searchable, but there's a chance that you will find nothing. On the other hand, when you... well, let's try it. Let's kill someone and see whether they'll drop some loot. But I don't want to kill it because only
What's the probability of getting item from the enemy?
Yeah, that depends on the enemy type, and it's tied to the thing that we talked before about having to deal with deadlier enemies and maybe receiving better rewards. So it varies from enemy to enemy. Like this, the smaller probability is
But
for the
is it,
level.
from what percent to what percent? Is it like half percent or 10% or
It's definitely more than 0.5%. It's I'm not sure. Not saying that
for
it's
example,
10.
those
but
normal
yeah.
normal rats with knives? What percent of loot rate do we have?
Or like you're talking about drops from the enemies.
Yeah, from the normal rats with knives. Exactly those guys.
I don't know. Let's see.
Because probably we'll see them often. They are cannon folders.
It's enemy drops. Sorry. Okay, so like the general rat only have 7% of
7%.
dropping junk,
Mm-hmm.
which is getting increased to the shooter having in total 14% of dropping stuff. Like, bear in mind, this is just something that is here at the time being, and this could be revamped completely, but that's how it works. Like, then we're dealing with the something called Rat Soldier, which is basically which number is it? Like this guy, the big guy. He has.
Does the stun work on him as well, like on all the other rats?
Sorry?
Does the stun works on him like on the other rats?
Yep. Yeah, luckily there are no rats who are immune to that. But this guy is also armored, so we can try putting it's down, but first of all, I'm gonna go into the support mode. And let's try to kill it off. Oh, but it has armor. I'm dealing 1 to 3 damage here, but you can see that only 1 HP is blinking, is because this guy has 2 pieces of armor, but I can shred the armor by using a grenade, which I use completely wrong, because I could use it here and then I would get rid of this rat as well, but you know.
The common mistakes in those type of games.
And you can see that it actually dropped something. And the advantage with this unknown loot is that it will always have something in it. So if I go to one of the predefined loots,
or something like
something good.
Something good. Okay.
It will have something good, or it basically will have something. Everything is good. Like even the junk is good if you want to, the scrap thing, if you want to craft some grenades in the shelter or whatever. Like now I'm standing on the regular loot point that was present from the beginning of the game, and I tried to search it. Well, I got lucky. I mean unlucky, because I got nothing, but that is exactly what I wanted to show you. There is a chance that you will find nothing there. But as soon as there's a loot drop from an enemy, you can be positive that there will be something here.
So it's good informed that there is a certain chance to get something.
Yeah, again, lucky. So when it comes to farming, that's is like a viable strategy. So you can, especially when you, I like playing this way with the support bot, which can give you this aim bonus and prevents your characters from cooling their weapons down. If you reach the exit, you can just set up some shooting spot here and just wait for the enemies to come in. Of course, then after you see them dropping loot, you still have to go and grab that loot, which could be risky, especially if there's a lot of enemies appearing.
We just can kill all 40 of them and then grab all the loot.
Yeah, and they might reappear later on. I think what I believe I will have to adjust here is to make sure that the not finding anything in the predefined loot is not happening too often, because it might be frustrating for the players.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that I will increase the drop rates, or maybe like the loot occurrence rates in general, but on the other hand, I might increase the I'm winning the game already. I might increase the amount of stuff that is necessary to craft things. So in the end, it might be that it will still require the same, let's say, time to craft stuff, but for instance, to craft a grenade, it won't be costing 1 junk and 2 crystal shards, but like
so you'll increase the probing, the number of probes, and increase accordingly the number of requirements, right?
Yeah, that might work. I know that it might sound shady, but it's like
it's in
common practice in game design.
It's a bit of inflation, but in reality, it's better to, for example, have 1.5, and if we don't have whole numbers, right, then we will not get this half. So by multiplying this by 2 with the inflation, we get this one additional item. So yeah, this is a solution, that's true, with low probability chance.
Yeah, and then the people will be like the frustration from not finding anything will be gone. All right, I mean, the time flies.
We have to wrap it up because I bet we will not be able to show anything in 3 minutes.
Yeah, we won't be able to. Okay, so I will be wrapping it up then. Great. How do I wrap it up? I mean, we did talk about the bots. We talked about some other things that I've introduced to Shardpunk since the last stream, and
long time ago.
Yeah, but I still have not depleted my list, so there's a lot of other stuff that I want to talk about. Also, there will be new things coming in because obviously, like, the next stream will be in some time, so I will be working on new stuff then. So, right, thank you everyone for being here and for especially participating in the chat. The new spelling of the mustard gas from the intro will be something that I believe will be the game. So it's awesome. It's awesome having this kind of conversations and feedback. It's always building, and it's always very positive for me. Especially that I need to stay sane to finish this goddamn thing, and that's what I'll be doing. There will be another stream next week with another game from Retrovibe, so do make sure that you will be joining. And yeah, thank you, and we'll see each other next time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Bye bye.